Today on the podcast, we have Bryce Coleman in the house, an absolute legend from Magnet Marketing SEO, and he's going to talk to us a little bit about what he's doing in, local SEO. He's a legend. He's been doing some amazing things for some clients. Bryce, how long have you been doing this for now?
So I actually started with you back at BYU Hawaii. That's when I was learning it. You taught me my first web design stuff. So flashback to the past.
Yeah, I didn't know. I thought you were like a legend long before that.
No, remember
you just started.
we when I was doing the Everyone is Ohana, my nonprofit.
Yeah.
You taught me how to do web design, and then I
Oh my
kind of
gosh.
realized that it's fun, and then took digital marketing courses, and ever since then have been. So that was in 2018, I think.
Okay,
is when I first
that's
got
crazy.
introduced to
I
it.
didn't realize. So something that's amazing about you, because I've talked to you about this before. It started in 2018 or whatever. When you first started, I remember you telling me some crazy numbers. How much have you invested in courses, like learning marketing courses? I feel like it's an insane
way too much,
number.
yeah.
Like I feel like you told me like $100,000 or something.
Probably
at one
has
point.
been around 80K ish now over the course of the last
Yeah.
years. But it just because marketing changes so much and there's
Yeah.
so much to learn because it's ongoing changes. You know that with AI,
Yeah.
AI's flipped everything on its head.
Totally.
So half the stuff I bought, is useless now.
Right.
But there's courses for Facebook ads, Google ads, PPC. I mean, SEO, local SEO. And there's always different people teaching different techniques for local SEO. One
Yeah.
will teach how to use Facebook ads and CTR manipulation. Another one will teach other techniques. And I want to be the best of the best. So
Right. Oh no, that's something I've always been
worth-
super impressed by. It's like you spend like an insane amount of money on it, but it's like you get cutting edge stuff because like at the end of the day, like I have learned a lot from YouTube, but like you don't get like the best growth hacks from YouTube.
Yeah,
like
you
there's
get
only
a
so
ton
far.
of free awesome
ton of free
information.
good stuff.
And you can learn basics from YouTube, but usually people who are selling courses have some little, golden nuggets that you're not going to get other places because, it's trade secrets or whatever.
Yeah,
I just want to get all those golden nuggets. So most of the time, when I go to the gym, I'll just put on a course that I haven't finished yet, put it
Okay.
on 2-speed and listen to it. And then I realize I like tune it out for the most part because most of it I already know. But then I'll find a section where like, oh, this is really interesting. And then I'll stop working out and take notes. And
That's funny.
kind of how I have
you
done
like
it.
stop mid set.
Just like, oh dang, this is really good. Just like, yeah. Yesterday I was listening to one actually, and it was pretty fun.
What was the gold nugget? What was the takeaway? If you remember?
Yesterday it was actually a guy who's using AI to make avatars, and they can like walk on roofs and like explain things. And
crazy.
it was really interesting because
Yeah.
I mean I've done like voice over avatars and AI. You can clone voices, but I'd never like
Oh, that's
put
a
it
whole nother
together.
level.
And like you can upload a blog and you can upload your images and you can put them all together and they make like a realistic video that is awesome.
That's
And
crazy.
Interesting. Didn't realize that that technology had come that far to be able to do it so easily.
So when you first started, I mean, you got started with like web design. Was it you initially were going into like just websites, or did you go straight to SEO or to marketing? Did you have a specialty, and then did you branch out? Tell us.
Yeah, I popped around a lot. There's so many different avenues, even just in SEO. I tried some affiliate marketing with Amazon. I played around with e-commerce SEO, but all of those I realized aren't really fun for me. Local SEO is really where I found my place. I really like it because I can take a small business who's just starting out or someone who's struggling and not generating enough phone calls. And just from generating, 5 to 10 phone calls a week, you can take them from $100,000 side gig to a, big company. And I really like watching that change in the small businesses versus like e-commerce, when people are starting a new e-commerce business, they usually don't have a huge budget and then usually it's going to fail. Like e-commerce
Right.
businesses almost always fail unless they have already established and then they have a big budget, but then you're just making a rich guy super rich and it's
Right.
like not really rewarding. And so, yeah, like local is like by far my favorite thing.
That's really cool. So, essentially, you stopped and you kind of got like set on local because it's kind of this journey where you get to watch these companies grow. What have been some of your most exciting, like companies or like case studies? Like I don't know, give us some examples of some companies that you've been able to help.
Yeah, one of them here, Avicii Roofing. They're a local company that I worked with a few years back, and I still do some work for them as now. But they started with just one Google business profile here in Arizona, and then we did SEO on it, made them a new website, start local service ads, which is one of my favorite lead platforms on Google. And they've grown so much. Like they now have locations in 5 states. They bought 6
Dang.
other businesses. They own an
No
HVAC company, a solar
way.
company. They own a home remodeling company, a restoration company. They own an internet business. They own a solar panel cleaning business. And so they've just grown so much, you know. And a lot of it was from our digital marketing. I mean, not all of it, of course.
Yeah.
They're awesome.
They're running a cool company.
They're
but
running a great
like,
company, but like local service ads alone, I think they were getting around 100 leads a month on their first account. Now they have
No
3
way.
accounts, so they're probably getting around 150 leads a month for roofing. And then those leads fed all their other businesses. They can refer them
Yeah.
to solar, they can refer them to HVAC, and so just that one service alone really exploded it.
That's amazing. Yeah, I can see if you watching a company go through that is like you're kind of on board for the journey with them. So
Yeah.
it's kind of exciting to see
I
it
really
happen.
regret not like negotiating more. I mean, I didn't charge them that much because they were a friend from college actually. And, and I've raised my rates one time a little bit, but if I had gotten like 1% of the company or something,
Yeah.
man, I'd be balling right now because they are killing it.
Well, I mean, that's amazing testament though to what you're doing too. Cause like, yeah, you're helping people completely crush it. What are other industries that you've worked in and that you've seen like success in? So like roofing and I guess like roofing, HVAC, solar cleaning, like all those kind of things. Any other areas?
I got a lot of landscaping companies, tree service especially. I don't know, tree service is more high ticket than I realized initially. And so I've got a lot of my own websites that I use for tree service lead generation across the US and some clients that rent those. And then, what's home remodeling? I got a lot of home remodeling clients.
Have you done anything with like restaurants?
No, I haven't really done restaurants.
Okay. Interesting.
Pretty much mostly home service businesses. That's kind of the niche that I've focused on. Garage door companies. I got a lot of garage door. I've got my own Facebook group for garage door companies. And
that's so funny. That's
another
awesome.
brand that I represent for just that industry.
What are some of the similarities and what are some of the differences between doing local SEO for, let's say, a roofing company versus like a restaurant or I don't know, like how much of what you do is applied to one specific industry and how much can you apply to like anyone that comes, any industry?
Sure. So, I mean, the reason I really like home service businesses is just because you can track the ROI super easily. Like if you can have Google Tag Manager track where the leads are coming from, and you can see on analytics exactly how many people are generated from every type of campaign. So you can see how many calls came from the Google Business Profile, from the website, from your local landing pages, blah, 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 etc. For restaurants, you might get a lot of foot traffic, but you don't know how much of it came from your campaign. And so, I mean, I've only worked with one restaurant a long time ago, but he kept doubting if it's working or not. Like his business grew a ton, but he's like, oh yeah, it's probably just because
the sandwich board outside.
Well,
there's no attribution. They just wanna...
well, I mean, I can't really track it, and so that kind of annoyed me, and I just kind of stayed away from advertising to them ever since then.
Okay,
because if someone asks me like, oh, are your results working? I can show them the numbers. Like, dude, you realize that you only had 3 calls a month when you signed up with me, and now you have 50. Like, that's a big difference. They're
like, but maybe they just organically. Yeah, I think that's definitely one tricky thing. So like what you're saying is like you can go to any local business and boost them. Like you 100% can.
The techniques are the same.
But some industries are way harder to track. And so you haven't really sat in them because you don't want to sit there arguing like why their company just exploded. You're just like, look, if you like it, I'm here. But otherwise.
Yeah. And I've like had almost no cancellations in the home service industry as well. And versus like, that guy eventually canceled. And so I was like,
right.
It's not fun to have canceled clients.
Right. What are some of the biggest things that home service businesses or any local businesses can do if they're just want to like get a little edge on, maybe they already have like their business going, they have some like reviews, some clients, whatever. What's one of the low hanging fruit, easy things that you think people are not doing that they should be to help get more traffic or more eyeballs?
So I do a lot of like just phone calls and consultations with new companies. I actually have one right after this where there's a new guy who got fired from his plumbing job because he mentioned that he wants to start a new plumbing business. So they fired him on the spot.
Oh man.
And so I told him I can give him some advice, but there's a lot of things like for him, I'll probably advise him to first set up the Google Business Profile, get at least 30 reviews, use a Google Tap to Review card, and then set up all the high traffic citations like Yelp, BBB, Bing, Apple Maps. Those are like the big ones. And then I have a list of 6 or 7 more that get traffic and sometimes get leads. And then get third-party reviews, so reviews on every single one of those platforms, which I can also help them get with the NFC card, the tap cards. You can program it to go to any different page.
Okay.
So I could use it for example, I'll make my Google reviews, tap card, and then tap it on the phones to get a lot of reviews. But then after I got 50 reviews on the GMB, maybe 1 week I'll program it to go to my Facebook page, and then I'll get Facebook reviews for 1 week, and then Yelp reviews. And those third-party reviews help a ton because Google features them on the GMB, and not very many companies get them.
Nice.
And so it's one of those easy ways to stand out and rank better on Google Maps. And then aside from that, for his industry, local service ads is another one. And I do a lot of free local service ad consultations and setups because it only takes me 20 minutes.
Right.
And it's super valuable for them.
Right.
We also offer a management service for it as well. But if they're a brand new company, we can just do a little consultation and set up.
That's super cool. Okay, that's amazing. I love the strategy with the review cards and tapping for reviews because like these are your real customers. You just did a great job. You have like good rapport with them, and it's like, hey, can you leave me a review? And they're like, oh yeah, I'll leave it like when you go or whatever. Like odds are it's just gonna forget.
Yeah, we tracked the numbers for a while because there's different ways you can get reviews, right? Some people offer gift cards. Some people do text and email campaigns. That's what I usually do with Go High Level. We'll do text and email review campaigns for every customer. But when we did those, only like 20% of people actually left the review, even if we reminded them like 4 times. But asking in person with a card and watching them leave a review right then, you're gonna get every single person to leave a review, and it's always 5-star,
right?
And it's always and it always has a photo,
and it's a real person,
and it's a real person.
Yeah.
And so and the photo review is a bigger thing than people realize too, because
so you get them to take like a
you just
photo
say like,
of the
hey,
room.
I'd appreciate a 5-star review, but a photo review is like a 10-star review. You can say that, and then they'll just take a selfie or take a picture of the garage or whatever they're working on the roof. Take a picture of the truck, add that to the review. Google knows it's a real review now because it's geotagged photo from their phone.
Oh,
and
genius!
It's more authoritative. It helps rankings more. It builds more trust. People see that the other customers are real people with real reviews, and so it's just huge for SEO. And that's the biggest change. Like, I really encourage people to use the review cards in order to get more photo reviews specifically.
Yeah, that's super smart. You mentioned you want to get them to a baseline of like 30 reviews. Is that pretty much where you need to? Is that just a credibility thing?
Yeah,
is that a ranking thing for Google?
It's kind of both, to be honest. So the biggest ranking factor, in my opinion, for reviews is review frequency. So you can actually rank, if you get a review every single day for a week and you have 7 reviews, you'll actually rank way better than you expect, just because the frequency is so high.
Yeah.
People's realizing, oh, this is up and coming business. They're really busy. They're getting a review every day. You might outrank somebody who has 50 reviews, even though you only have 7, just because you got it daily.
Okay.
And so that frequency is a really big factor. But also, even if you rank and you only have 7 reviews, people don't choose you most of the time. No one trusts a business that has 5 reviews or 6 reviews. They trust someone who has at least 25, 30 is the number that I found. It brings some trust and brings more calls. Because I have ranked some businesses and they only have 5 reviews, and it's like, you're not getting any calls even though you're ranked number 1. And it's like,
interesting,
because no one trusts you.
Right.
And so I've really been hounding them, but some old people just don't bother with asking people for reviews, I guess. So it's one of those battles
that's amazing. I think that's some incredible advice. What about optimizing your Google business like listing page? Is there any low hanging fruit people should be doing?
That is the low hanging fruit. I mean, it doesn't take that long to do. You can do most of it with AI now. You can just ask ChatGPT to write you a 750 character business description, including these 5 keywords. That's like the first step. And then you geotag and upload 20 photos. You add your products, you add your services, you link the products to the website. So if you have a service page for every service you offer, like plumbing repair, link faucet, blah blah blah, you add a product on GMB for each one of those and add the link to it with a description that has the keywords. All of that is considered GMB on-page SEO. Okay. And that makes a huge difference. And it's like almost no one does it right, even though it's super simple. I don't really understand. It's pretty much just filling out the profile and trying to include keywords. And that's it. Like linking all your social profiles is a new thing now.
Oh, okay.
They didn't have those natively before.
So does that help the page then?
It helps the page tons, yeah.
Interesting. What percentage of people, or is it, okay, so curious on the social, when you do your social media profiles for a business, is it Google going and looking at that and being like, oh, they look big, they must be legit? Or is it just the users are going to click that, see it, and be like, oh, you look legit?
I make them for Google. Even if the client doesn't want to use TikTok or they don't want to use Twitter or whatever, I make all the social profiles every single time.
Do you post on them or
No? I mean,
Okay.
Depends.
Okay.
So you can set up IFTT rings, which is like every time you post on your blog, it syndicates with an RSS feed to post on all your socials. Do that for my own lead generation sites for fun.
Okay.
And I'll do that for clients if they ask. But sometimes clients don't want to post all their blogs on all the socials because they care about their socials and want to do it themselves. So it depends. So socials have become a lot more important now just because as of last month, Google's featured them. They've added the option to add the social profiles to the GMB, and Facebook posts sometimes get featured on the GMB natively as well. And so I've been offering more social media management packages because I expect that will impact the rankings more in the future.
Yeah, that's so fascinating. So I know you have a lot on your plate. You got a lot of clients going and stuff going on. If people are interested in working with you, what do they need to kind of be like an ideal client for you? And and who should be reaching out to?
Sure. So yeah, any home service industry is really our target market. Even if they're a brand new company and they don't have a huge marketing budget yet, I can still, make something work out to help them get started and so that they can fund us, later on. A lot of times I'll set up their local service ads, or I'll just set up a basic one-page website for them and do the GMB optimization because all of that stuff doesn't take very much time. So I don't have to charge very much, and it gets a really good ROI. It's the low-hanging fruit of marketing.
Yeah.
And then, a couple months later, once they're profitable, they can hire us to rank their GMB. They can rank the website, do pay-per-click. But really, the marketing budget that I work with most of the time is $1,000 up. So if they can't afford $1,000 in marketing, then they probably can't hire us on a monthly contract. But I can still, do a small thing to help.
Right. What's your top level contract? Like some company, they got a bunch of different branches. They want to just crush it. Like what's the most?
Right now, my highest paying client is $3,000 a month.
Okay.
So, and that one, because we're doing Facebook ads, Google ads, local service ads, GMB SEO, and SEO. And so that's only one location, but that's
okay.
total package.
Super cool. Well, this has been absolutely fascinating. For people interested, reach out to Bryce on the website and make sure to get him doing your SEO, your local marketing stuff. It's going to crush it and exciting. And thanks for talking about it today.
Thanks for having me, Jen. Appreciate it.